I made a video a while back called the Casino Food Chain. I had a lot of fun with it, and it got tons of views, so I figured I should make a follow-up video. This one is about people who blow through thousands of dollars a month and never step foot inside a casino. No, not that group. No, not that group either. Look, a lot of people waste a lot of money on a bunch of silly things, but today we're talking about sports betting. At the bottom of the food chain, we have Parlay Monkeys. Now, I know my audience knows what a parlay is, but I'm going to speedrun the definition real quick. A parlay is a way of combining bets to get better odds. If every bet, also called a leg of the parlay, is predicted correctly, you win generational wealth. And by generational wealth, I mean a small sum of money that will eventually be lost on more parlays. Parlays can have as many legs as you want. We've got insects, we've got spiders, we've got centipedes. The more time it takes to create and place a bet, the more happy the Parlay Monkey is to put money on it. In my opinion, these guys are the Chads of sports betting. The casual will gamble while they watch sports, while everyone else on this list watches sports while they gamble. One of the reasons Gen Z refers to themselves as cooked is because sports betting is extremely popular among their generation. Many friend groups will talk about sports betting, but a lot of friend groups have that one friend. That one friend probably watches these channels on YouTube. They may use the phrases, "we're so due," "it's over," and "we're so back." And they could be Jonathan, age 22 at Ohio State, studying marketing. That one friend is the one who will lose way too much money on sports betting. Now, if this is you, and you think you can be a winner, I will tell you that you are wrong. There are another 500,000 young adults who think the exact same thing, and they are also not winners. In fact, they are exactly the type of customers that sportsbooks want. Speaking of which, I know that running a sportsbook seems like the easiest way to print money, but there's a lot that goes into running things. You have to balance lines, collect enough of a rake to remain profitable, all the while trying to compete with everyone else. Why would anyone want to bet on Applebee's Sportsbook when they can just stick with the app they're already using? In order to capture the market, you need to be well thought out. And a lot of companies just don't have the time or the resources to do that. At this point, we've reached the profit line. Anyone above this line will be making money off of those lower in the food chain. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There's a lot of betting influencers who sell their knowledge in picks, and these guys are profitable, just not at sports betting. If you are wondering whether or not you should buy their course, I made a simple flowchart to help you decide. If you really want to learn more about sports betting, there's some actual good books that you can read, and they shouldn't cost you more than $30. Casual sportsbooks are the one you know by name. Their goal is to offer thousands of bets a day and keep the house edge, or VIG, between 5 and 10%. They're profitable, but sometimes they have to spend money. An example of that being celebrity marketing always makes me mad because it just works so well. In this ad, that doesn't feature any celebrity spokesperson, there are so many negative comments. Peak brain rot advertisement. This should be stopped. This is clearly promoting gambling to kids. Garbage. But in this ad with Charles Barkley, there isn't a single negative comment. As someone who usually hates commercials, this is probably the funniest one I've seen. This made me laugh so hard. Yes, love it. Great editing too. Best ad ever. When you have celebrities in your commercials, people don't view you in a negative light. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a comment that said, society was much better off without the constant need to bet on sports. We've become so isolated, and we lack the solidarity to stand up to these corporations and show them who we truly are. Wait, is that LeBron? He's my king! The casual sportsbooks offer a ton of bets, and sometimes they get it wrong. Value bettors look for these pricing mistakes. They're the scavengers of the sports betting world, except instead of having a cool backstory and top-tier aura, they sit in front of a computer all day, look for odds that are just right, and hope that one day they might just feel something again. Now you may be wondering, if value bettors are looking for lines that are wrong, how do they know what the line should be? This takes us to sharp sportsbooks, who are the ones you may be less familiar with. These sportsbooks don't ban anyone for being a winning player, and instead will bring the best of the best to their site. These sites are also known as odds makers because some of them will sell their data to casual sportsbooks. But the sharp sportsbooks don't set the lines. They need someone else to do that for them. There's a certain mythos around sharp sports bettors. Not much is known about this group as they try to keep a low profile, but almost all of them use advanced analysis techniques in order to predict game outcomes. These are the bettors that are setting the lines, and they're probably the only ones in the food chain who have any idea of what's actually going on.
Now you may be thinking, I think I'm a sharp sports bettor, and I want to be nice when I say this, but you're not. Sharp sports bettors only bet on one or at most two sports. If you bet on more, you're probably not a sharp sports bettor. Do you track stats and build complex statistical models? No? Then you're probably not a sharp sports bettor. These guys spend at least 60 hours a week betting on sports. Do you? I sure hope not. But the biggest difference between you and a sharp sports bettor is that they are profitable. And you are not a winning sports bettor.
And don't let anyone tell you you can predict the future. Your self-worth doesn't depend on sports betting. You would be foolish if you think that you can build generational wealth through a 38-leg parlay. Be balanced. You don't have to bet on everything. Go to your sports betting app, withdraw your entire balance, and open up your 401k. Invest in your future. This is the moment you turn your life around. Invest in your future. Open up your 401k. Withdraw your entire balance and go to your sports betting app. Bet on everything. You don't have to be balanced. Through a 38-leg parlay, you can build generational wealth. You would be foolish if you think that your self-worth doesn't depend on sports betting. You can predict the future. And don't let anyone tell you that you're not a winning sports bettor.